But the big discussion coming out of the Royal Rumble going on into this morning was Roman Reigns and Edge for the Universal Championship. A lot of people were wanting this particular match coming out of the Royal Rumble last night, and I don't really understand why. And when Monday Night Raw hit the airwaves tonight, we seen the opening promo between Drew McIntyre, who I will talk about a little bit later. Drew McIntyre, he cut a promo in the middle of the ring tonight, and out comes Edge. And then out comes Sheamus. And they have a verbal back and forth between all three of them. Sheamus ends up bro-kicking Drew McIntyre. Edge criticizes Drew McIntyre for not being the kind of champion he would be. What's wrong with you? I just won the Royal Rumble and I could potentially be coming after your championship, and you're here showering me with praise and compliments. What is wrong with you? So from what we watched tonight, it looks to be, just on the surface, Drew McIntyre and Sheamus at the Elimination Chamber, and then Drew McIntyre and Edge at WrestleMania. But that's not exactly where WWE is going with all this. Because after that segment was over, I started seeing several reports about what's happening at WrestleMania. I seen one from Dave Meltzer. And then I seen one from Fightful. And then I seen one from this one and one from that one. So people are picking up on it. And some of these people, I know that they wouldn't report it unless it was at least with some validity. Some of these people don't report anything on unless there is some validity behind it, because they don't want to put their name out there with a false report. Then everybody's got to retract, and everybody looks like an idiot. But this was being discussed coming out of last night, going into tonight's show. Dave Meltzer is reporting that Roman Reigns will go one-on-one with Edge at WrestleMania 37. Meltzer said he did not know when that match will officially be announced, but that is the planned main event for the show. Meltzer also noted that Bianca Belair and her match is not 100% right now. Now, I don't know what that means. Everybody's assuming that she is going to challenge Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania. I could absolutely see that happening. I could even see Bayley getting involved. But I mentioned on the post-show last night for the Royal Rumble, what if Bianca Belair challenges Asuka for the Monday Night Raw Women's Championship? I mean, we can't really leave that out of discussion now, because Asuka, the way we look at Asuka and her reign right now, it is absolutely miserable. It is miserable. Charlotte's off doing God knows what with Lacey Evans and Ric Flair. None of us want to see Charlotte Flair and Asuka again at WrestleMania. If you do, there's something mentally wrong with you, because it's only going to end up one way, and we don't need Charlotte to hold more championships. What if Bianca challenges Asuka and gives Asuka that actual WrestleMania opponent that she so desperately needs right now? And then that opens up Bayley to win the Elimination Chamber for SmackDown and go to wrestle Sasha Banks, so we get them in front of fans at WrestleMania in that big WrestleMania match that I know both of those women want. I don't know. It's just an idea. I think I'm pretty sure WWE is going to go with Bianca and Sasha. Bianca wants the match. I'm sure Sasha would want the match. Everybody is speaking so highly of Bianca Belair. It could be her breakout moment. But I'm not here to talk about that. We'll figure that out along the way. So Edge in the Royal Rumble came out at number 1, as you guys know. If you didn't watch, there you go. You're filled in. Edge came out at number 1. He lasted all the way till the end. He eliminated Randy Orton. So they came out at number 1 and 2, and they were the final 2 guys in the Royal Rumble. During WWE Backstage on Saturday, Paul Heyman gave a spoiler that Reigns and his match will be the true main event of WrestleMania 37. So it looks like Reigns versus Edge will close out the show. Now, he didn't mention anything about who Reigns would be wrestling. Could be Daniel Bryan still. We don't know. But Dave Meltzer is reporting that it's Edge. For all we know, it could be John Cena. John Cena could come back. With all the reports I heard about John Cena today, he's not going to be at WrestleMania. Of course he's not going to be at WrestleMania, because why would he say he's going to be there until WWE officially confirms he's there? It's the same shit. Edge did it last year. How many people figured out that Edge was going to be in the Royal Rumble 6 weeks before the fucking thing happened, and he had to come out on social media and say, no, absolutely not. I'm not going to be there. I don't know what you're talking about. And what happened? He looked like an idiot. Now, I know a lot of people are very interested in this match. And I want to tell you guys, that's fine. That's fine. You could be interested and excited for Edge versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. My problem is, you're telling a story and you're really nailing the narrative home with Edge getting back that championship that he never lost. And here you have this narrative and him going into WrestleMania against the absolute biggest heel in this sport right now. There's absolutely no way he's going to conquer Roman Reigns. I find it funny. I really do find it funny that for 6 years, I wanted nothing more than to Roman Reigns turn heel, for him to turn heel. Now we got it. For 6 years, I wanted nothing more for this man to lose. Every time he was in a main event, every time he was a champion, I wanted nothing more than for him to lose. And now that we got this unbelievable heel turn, thanks to Paul Heyman, and Roman Reigns absolutely knocking his performance out of the park every single week, now I want nothing more than Roman to win. I'm on Team Roman now, because we asked for it for 6 years. Why would I now betray what I wanted creatively for 6 years? You can like whatever narrative that you come up with in your mind about this. Spear versus spear, whatever. Yes, both of them have signature moves called the spear. Fine. Hey, man, it's not Goldberg. Fine. Fine. But I want you guys to understand something. Edge and Roman Reigns, they have absolutely nothing to do with each other. I am sure, I am positive that this storyline, if it does happen, is going to be magnificent. Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns, Edge, the promos are going to be absolutely phenomenal. The story's going to be there. But what exactly are you doing with Edge winning the Royal Rumble and then having him challenge Roman Reigns? You gave him a Royal Rumble in January for him to go to WrestleMania and lose. There was no other way for Edge, a Hall of Famer at 48 years old, to get a WWE Universal title match at WrestleMania. The guy could fucking snap his fingers and ask for it, and he'd get it. You had to give him a Royal Rumble over all the young kids that were in that Royal Rumble. Give the Royal Rumble to Edge, who already had a Royal Rumble victory in his career. You had to give him the Royal Rumble ultimately for him to lose to Roman at WrestleMania, because that's exactly what's going to happen. Everybody's going to want Edge. That's the fucking part I hate most. It's not the match. It's the fucking people's mentality. You want Edge to beat Roman? How could you possibly want something like that? Because it's a good story? So is Daniel Bryan. So is John Cena. I would take John Cena over Edge 7 days a week at WrestleMania. Why? Because they actually have history. They actually wrestled. And John Cena chasing 17 is better, to me, against Roman than Edge is chasing his fucking dream against Reigns at WrestleMania. The match itself, you could love it all you want. I'm here to tell you it doesn't make any sense. And WWE has the power to write a better story by going in a different direction. But here's the kicker. You may want Reigns and Edge at WrestleMania, but I gotta ask you, if you give me that match, if they do that match at WrestleMania, who exactly is Drew McIntyre getting at WrestleMania? Sheamus? I love Sheamus to death. I think Sheamus is fucking great. But he's certainly no WrestleMania main event guy for Drew McIntyre. He's not. Who exactly does Drew McIntyre get at WrestleMania? Braun Strowman? That's what you want Drew McIntyre doing at WrestleMania. It could be John Cena. We could be getting Edge and Roman and Drew McIntyre, John Cena. But I'm not banking on that because really we don't know what John Cena's doing. They may be saving him as a late addition surprise later on down the road for WrestleMania. So we really don't know. I'm talking about active Monday Night Raw superstars. Bobby Lashley, we've seen that. Bobby Lashley does not make a good WrestleMania opponent for Drew McIntyre. That's the fucking thing. You're all asking for Edge and Roman Reigns, but who exactly does Drew McIntyre get at WrestleMania? AJ Styles, we've seen it. They did it in December. The fucked up thing is you are opening yourself up for Drew McIntyre to have no opponent at WrestleMania. And given that may be the fact of the matter, WWE is going to go out and get Brock Lesnar back and put him in a ring against Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. And we all know what's going to happen then. Brock's going to come back. He's going to win the title. WWE's on Peacock. They're going to give all their biggest names all the spotlight to sell their product in front of a new streaming service. Do you really want that? I know I don't. You better be careful what you wish for. If I was booking this thing, Edge would be going up against Drew McIntyre. The story's there. They already planted seeds of that tonight. And that story could be told the same way you would tell it with Roman, with Drew McIntyre. Edge doesn't think Drew McIntyre is the quality champion that he needs to be. He's a pussy. He said it himself in so many words. So why not do that? Brian Roman. In fact, you want to go a step further? Why don't we do Drew McIntyre versus Edge versus Randy Orton? You kill two birds with one stone. Edge puts a exclamation point on his fucking run, wins the title, pins Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and Drew McIntyre looks strong. I don't advocate for triple threat matches, but if you want Edge to tell this fucking story with him coming out on top as a true babyface in front of fans, something that he didn't have last year, then why not do it with Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre in a triple threat match with him pinning Randy Orton? So Drew McIntyre looks strong. I don't really understand people's desires here for Reigns and Edge. Listen, the story's going to be great. The story's going to be great. And if it does happen, Edge is not winning. Edge is not winning the WWE Universal title. I don't give a shit. Edge, he don't even have to be there for the majority of the build. I read today, and I'm sure a lot of you guys did if you were on the dirt sheets, Christian is back, and it's not a one-off. He's back, and his appearance in the Royal Rumble was not a one-off. He could be filled in those spots where Edge doesn't need to make TV appearances, because I'm assuming his contract only calls for the similar amount of TV appearances that Brock Lesnar has, maybe 25 to 30 dates. You got Christian that can fill in there, have some back and forth with Roman, have a match against Jey Uso here and there, have some nice segments with Roman and Paul Heyman. Fine. But you can't book Edge to win the Royal Rumble to take the title off of Roman Reigns. That would render Roman Reigns and everything he did absolutely fucking a waste of time. Roman's reign is right now at a godlike fucking status. Absolutely nobody in this sport should be using their creative power to take that title off of Roman Reigns. I've always been the type of guy to look at somebody doing his job better than anybody. Roman Reigns is fucking leagues better than everybody on that fucking roster. And by that account, he should be at the top of the card. He should be the champion. Until somebody comes along that's equal or better than Roman Reigns, then that's when you decide and you creatively start thinking, maybe we should take the title off of Roman Reigns. We haven't gotten there yet. And let me tell you something, folks. We're not going to be there for a very, very, very long time. Nobody. I've been advocating for Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns for months. I never once said in my entire time talking about it, I want Bryan to win the Universal title from Roman Reigns. I just want the story. That story is greater than whatever Edge and his story is against Roman. Daniel Bryan was single-handedly the reason for Roman's 6-year purgatory. Edge, what does he have to do against Roman Reigns? Nothing. Which brings me to my next point. Edge is a Hall of Famer. Edge is a legend. Edge is nearing 50 years old. Now, I don't know what Edge is thinking. He may want another run with the title. He may want something to close out his Hall of Fame career with, so he could look back at it and say, you know what, I did it right. I did it my way. Who wouldn't want that? Is he going to be selfish like Bill Goldberg? Or is he going to look at Roman Reigns and say to Vince, you know what, Vince, I want the Rumble. I want this Mania match with Roman because I want to make Roman even bigger than what he is right now on my dime, on my expense. If Roman beats me at WrestleMania and Roman is enhanced by breaking my dreams and shattering my dreams, and he's a bigger heel for it, then success. You get your man at another level, which right now is fucking unheard of. You can book him further in this new role that he's in. And I don't mind. I'll be selfless in that to give back for you allowing me the Rumble and coming back and being in this spot when really it should be somebody else. Is Edge going to go and say that? Is that what Edge is thinking? If that is the case, I have no problem. And everything I just ranted about here is a waste of my fucking time. But I don't know if it's going to be that way. You're at WrestleMania, you're in the main event, you're in the title match. Edge was gone for 9 years. He gave up something that nobody beat him for. You don't think he wants a championship run back, even if it's for a month, 2 months? Why would you take the title off Roman to put it on Edge, only to put it back on Roman? Absolutely none of it makes sense whatsoever. None of it. So when you start thinking about, oh yeah, I want Edge versus Roman, I want you to think about what you want. You want Roman's magnificent, once-in-a-lifetime heel run to be ruined by another aging legend that really shouldn't be there. That really, he could snap his fingers and get any championship match he wants. You want him to take the title off of Roman Reigns. I don't see that as being best for business, folks. I really don't. You need to put your fandom aside, and you need to look at the business from what is right and what is wrong. Nobody on this show, that show, any show on this planet or fucking that planet should be beating Roman Reigns. Roman shouldn't lose at Mania. Roman should take the title into SummerSlam. Fuck it. I wouldn't even have Roman lose this year. Nobody on this roster, nobody should be taking down Roman Reigns.